So today we will be discussing about part 16, which consists of 16 articles. And we dealt with part 15 last day when we were discussing about elections. The part 16 consists of 16 articles and it's about special provisions relating to certain classes. And who are the people? They would be coming under part 16, sorry. So we will see article 330. Article 330, reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the House of the People. House of the People means what? Lok Sabha. Article 331, representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the House of the People, but this article been abrogated. Okay, I will tell you about the amendments, the procedure, how this article 331 is abrogated. That means now the representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the House of People, that is Lok Sabha, is not there. Article 332, reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the legislative assemblies of the states. So what is the difference between article 330 and 332? 330 relates to reservation of seats of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in Lok Sabha. 332, reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the legislative assemblies of the states. So to make you understand about article 332, let me tell you that out of 60 assembly seats in Tripura, 20 seats are reserved for our ST brothers and sisters and 10 seats are reserved for our SC brothers and sisters. So that comes under article 332. Article 333, representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the legislative assemblies of the states. This is also abrogated. Article 331, article 333 does not exist now. Article 334, we will discuss these things when we study about the amendments. Article 334, reservation of seats with special reference to cease after 60 years. 335, claims of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes to services and posts. Article 336, special provision for Anglo-Indian community in certain services, that is not there. Article 337, special provision with respect to educational grants for the benefit of Anglo-Indian community. Again, minor changes been brought. Article 338, National Commission for Scheduled Castes. Article 338A, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Article 338B, National Commission for Backward Classes. Article 339, control of the Union over the administration of scheduled areas and the welfare of scheduled tribes. Article 340, appointment of a commission to investigate the conditions of backward classes. Article 341, scheduled castes. Article 342 deals with scheduled tribes, and 342A is socially and educationally backward classes. Now part 17. Part 17 consists of 11 articles. This official language, chapter 1, language of the Union. Official language of the Union is contained in article 243. 344, Commission and Committee of Parliament on Official Language. Chapter 2 is regional languages. 345, official language or languages of a state. 346, official language for communication between one state and another or between a state and the Union. 347, special provision relating to language spoken by a section of the population of a state. And chapter 3 is language of the Supreme Court, High Courts, etc. Article 348, language to be used in the Supreme Court and in the High Courts and for acts, bills, etc. Article 349 is special procedure for enactment of certain laws relating to language. Chapter 4, special directives. Article 350, language to be used in representations for redress of grievances. Article 350A, facilities for instruction in mother tongue at the primary stage. Article 350B, special officer for linguistic minorities. Article 351 is directive for development of the Hindi language. Now part 18 there are 10 articles, Article 352 to Article 360. We will study them. Article 352, Proclamation of Emergency. 353, Effect of Proclamation of Emergency. Article 354, Application of provisions relating to distribution of revenues while a proclamation of emergency is in operation. Article 355, Duty of the Union to protect states against external aggression and internal disturbance. Article 356, Provisions in case of failure of constitutional machinery in states. Article 357, Exercise of legislative powers under proclamation issued under Article 356. Article 358, Suspension of provisions of Article 19 during emergencies. This is very important. Article 358. Suspension of provisions of Article 19 during emergencies is contained in the Article 358. Suspension of the enforcement of the rights conferred by Part 3 during emergencies is Article 359. Article 359A is repealed. Article 360, provisions as to financial emergency, but Article 360 was never been promulgated by the Union till date, Article 360. Then come and study about Part 19, 10 articles, what these parts, that relates to miscellaneous. Article 361, Protection of President and Governors and Raj Pramukh. Article 361A, Protection of publication of proceedings of Parliament and state legislatures. Article 361B, Disqualification for appointment on remunerative political post. Article 362 repealed. Article 363, bar to interference by courts in disputes arising out of certain treaties, agreements, etc. Article 363A, recognition granted to rulers of Indian states to seize and private pursuits to be abolished. Article 364, special provisions as to major ports and aerodromes. Article 365, effect of failure to comply with or to give effect to directions given by the Union. Article 366, definitions. Article 377 is interpretation. Then we have got Part 20, only one article, amendment of the Constitution. Article 368, power of Parliament to amend the Constitution and procedure. Part 21, there are 36 articles, temporary, transitional and special provisions. What they are? Article 369, temporary power to Parliament to make laws with respect to certain matters in the state list as if they were matters in the concurrent list. Article 370, temporary provisions with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, but this article is totally abrogated. Article 370 is non-existing. We will discuss elaborately about Article 370 and how this has been abrogated. What were the procedures adopted in the Parliament for the abrogation of Article 370? We will discuss at length Article 370 later period. Article 371, special provisions with respect to states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Article 371A, special provisions with respect to the state of Nagaland. These are very important articles because it relates to most of the northeastern states. Article 371A, special provision with respect to the state of Nagaland. 371B, special provision with respect to the state of Assam. 371C, special provision with respect to the state of Manipur. 371D, special provision with respect to the state of Andhra Pradesh. 371E, establishment of Central University in Andhra Pradesh. 371I, special provision with respect to the state of Sikkim. And 371G, F and G, very important. G relates to 371G, this special provision with respect to the state of Mizoram, and 371H, special provision with respect to the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Then 371I, special provision with respect to the state of Goa. 371J, special provision with respect to the state of Karnataka. 372, continuance in force of existing laws and their adoption. 378, power of the president to adopt laws. 373, power of president to make order in respect of persons under preventive detention in certain cases. Article 374, provisions as to judges of the federal court and proceedings pending in the federal court or before His Majesty in council. Article 375, courts, authorities and officers to continue to function subject to the provisions of the Constitution. Article 376, provisions as to judges of high courts. Article 377, provisions as to Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Article 378, provisions as to Public Service Commissions. Article 378A, special provisions as to the duration of Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly. Article 379 to 391 is repealed. 392 is power of the President to remove difficulties, particularly in relation to the transition from the provisions of the Government of India Act 1935 to the provisions of this Constitution. Then last is your part 22 having 4 articles: short title, commencement, authoritative text in Hindi and repeals. 393 is short title, 394 is commencement, 394 is authoritative text in Hindi language and 395 is repealed. So you see, in a nutshell, we completed one study material from the syllabus. Syllabus is all about the Constitution, and we could finish introduction about Constitution. Then we studied at length about the different parts of the Indian Constitution. We also read different schedules in the Constitution. We have read different articles about Indian Constitution, and the very next day we will study the different amendments made till date. Thank you all of you for attending this class on Constitution. Thanks once again.